called office hours for a reason.
Four.
What random?
But there's more than that, see. You've got these girls out there with bikini tops and roll-down shorts. And they're all tan and oil. They have oil outside, man.
I get it.
I don't think you understand the situation. They have oil. And where are you? You're basically the English building. Eating. What are you?
EM Forster. Aspects of the number.
Feeling some Victorian form. When it's a freaking WB shots are in quad. It's some institutionalization word, man. Quad. It's more than just a rhetorical term. It's a signifier of taut flesh well oiled. God hospital.
Are you actually here for any reason, Jack? I don't want to keep you from the quad and all that it signifies.
Like some books. I make you uncomfortable.
I don't know, Jack. I think you ought to have some boundaries. Student-teacher relationship.
Teaching assistants. They don't pay us enough regulate our morality. Give me that look. You never screw around with my students.
Oh, thank God for your ability to abstain.
Because current of living.
Please don't. It's hard enough to teach these kids. Some of them are all of 2 years younger than I am.
Look, this used to be the way the upper educated class made it. This used to be the way academics found wives. I mean, it's hard enough to give my brain to Chaucer. Now I have to give my dick to.
So you're looking for a wife now. That's what you're doing when you're trolling the quad?
You don't know. Aren't you looking for the love man?
But you're not going to find her at a college bar at last call.
Just because you're mature and your bed.
Hands off limits in this discussion.
Hey, I lost my chance. I get that. But that's what I'm saying. You were a fellow graduate student. You're an organic mate. Losing your bar section. You in your mild, nerdy ways threw a light on my nose.
It wasn't like that.
Calm down, Clark Kent. I'm just trying to make a point. You're with that, we have the same interests. You write little short stories and she keeps short stuff. If I know what girl with the same interests, can I help you to stay in my class on football?
It's funny how many hot women have an interest in football.
What do you think? It is necessary to invent the body a non-disciplinary eroticism that if a body plunges into a diffused and volatile state through chance encounters and incalculable pleasures.
Sounds like just sleeping around.
But not this fucking bourgeois.
And for an intellectual, you can be pretty fucking sleazy, Jack.
What anxieties with some mischief last the ages?
Oh, I don't know, Jack. I'm actually nice to her. Some girls like her.
Excuse me. Are these your office hours?
Yes, come.
I can't come back later.
No, come. Bye, Jack. Hi, Susan. So, you want to talk?
About my paper, yes. I took this course because I enjoy humanity, but I still need to keep my grades up. So I'm trying to cancel with this is major.
I don't change grades.
Give me a C+.
Well, I don't change grades.
I worked really hard on this paper.
I'm sure you did, but just as you work hard on your paper, I work hard on grading your paper. If you look inside your syllabus, you'll find the grades.
See the grade. I'm not asking you to change the grade.
You know?
No. I just want to know why you gave me a C+.
Can I see it? The paper? Now, Susan, this is a creative writing class, and it's also an entry-level class. Now, see, part of what grades do, they signal whether a person should go further. This piece, it's average. I mean, a little better than average, hence the C+.
What did I get wrong?
Wrong? You didn't necessarily get anything wrong.
Then why the C plus?
Well, what you wrote wasn't compelling enough.
To you.
Excuse me?
It wasn't compelling to you.
Objectively, it wasn't written in a compelling way.
In your opinion.
Yes, in my opinion.
So it isn't objective at all.
Right, but since I'm the teacher,
Teaching assistant.
teaching assistant, but I'm the person grading this paper and I look for certain things.
Like what?
Well, the assignment was to write from your own point of view, for instance, and this is in third person.
It was a choice. I didn't want it.
Why didn't you want it?
I couldn't.
So looking at the paper, it didn't seem like an experience you had. So you lost some points on the grid. And then the actual quality of the writing is just average.
What's average about it?
It's missing details to make it seem true, to make it live for the reader. See, it's a vague piece of writing. I mean, his hands closed on hers like a vice.
That's a simile.
Yes.
That's really good.
Right, but it's a cliche. It's a phrase I've heard before.
Where?
What?
Where have you heard it before?
I don't know, some Raymond Chandler novel. But the point is, there's a blankness to the writing. It's flat. See, he pushed himself inside of her. It hurt. Now, that would be a place for a vivid metaphor. So that I, as the reader, understand what the protagonist went through. What did it hurt like? Did it hurt?
What if it didn't feel like anything you ever felt before? What if there's nothing to compare it to?
That's why we call it creative writing. And then the way the story ends, you stop after the event, after the rape. There isn't any denouement, any arc to the story. You just write, she felt empty. And the story ends.
That's what happened though. I did feel it.
Susan, are you trying to tell me what you wrote about this game that happened to you?
That's how it felt. I felt empty. I felt alone.
Always better.
Looks like a danger paper.
So you've got one of these before?
Sure. When I made the mistake of asking them to write something personal. This is why you tell them to make things up. Isn't that why you call it creative writing?
But I was only trying to get her to write from a place of experience.
That was your first mistake.
But they were all writing these pre-processed pieces. The girls, they wrote these romantic sitcoms, and the guys are...
Just wire dogs.
Exactly. See, I'm trying to teach them that their experiences have value, have worth. That was a big lesson for me when I started writing.
But that's why you're a writer, sweetheart. These kids, they're taking a class. Their experiences don't have value.
But how am I supposed to teach them how to write if I don't ask them to reveal some part of themselves?
Congratulations, it worked.
God. That's the way it felt. That's what she said. And then she gave me this look. I could have handled it if she cried, if she asked for help. Instead, she wanted to know what was wrong with her paper.
It's a deflection. Don't you think? She doesn't want to deal with it.
She wrote a 5-page paper about it. Isn't that dealing with it? Should I report it?
Looking at the paper, it seems like it happened in high school, and she's not a senior.
Junior.
It's not your image of detection.
But I should do something. Isn't this a cry for help? Doesn't the paper prove that?
No. The paper proves that your grade point average is important to her.
Wow.
What?
I would have thought you as
As a woman, I'd be sympathetic, enraged.
Well, yes.
I'm past enraged, I go into the ladies' room. There's a list of rapists on the bathroom stall. Different pens, different hands. Nothing changes. Look, all you can do is grade it. I'm not a bitch. I'm trying to protect
I gotta go.
Don't mark.
What's it, Mark?
It's got a student who wrote about her rape in the paper.
Oh. The hot one.
She thought.
And that icy, smart way, I like.
This is the real one, right?
Last I checked.
I was trying to help.
And you didn't like it.
I get sick of his inability to deal sometimes. Maybe it's because of his youth or him being an artist. I don't know. He's here to be a writer. He's not here to be some kind of a therapist.
Maybe you need to stop being with the creative type and stick to your field. You fall for an idealist. Someone is actually going to create something. No wonder you're not jiving. You need to come back to the fold. I don't know what the deconstruction is.
I tried that.
You only did once.
Once was enough.
So you're in love.
I'm happy.
See, this is what I don't get. I look at you and you become so conventional, so marital. I mean, I remember when you two were interested in limited experiences, finding truth through non-disciplinary
Told
eroticism.
you a non-disciplinary eroticism liner. I don't want to buy that jam.
You're not too old.
I look at these girls. I know I'm supposed to think of them as women, as versions of me. But I was never like them. I can't imagine. It wasn't. They have this shell that I never had. I had to find mine. I had to seek it out.
It looks good on you, Anne.
What did I have to find?
Anne, that night was one of the best nights of my life. See, and you look back and it's something you had to suffer through, just so you can find your true love.
I've never said that.
That's what you think, Anne. See, this is that much better than you.
Jack, I've never said that.
Think,
You
Anne.
can't compare.
I'm just an artist, Anne. Would it change anything if I were a writer? Would you like me more then? Would you be impressed, Anne?
Can't stay with you.
No office hours on the quad today. Raining.
Yeah.
But I like it. Fresh. It makes things clear. Not sure why that is really. Is it because of the grayness of the sky? The light?
Don't know, man.
Everything's more vivid. I mean, more incandescent.
Good word. Listen, did Anne find you?
What?
Anne was looking for you. Did she find you?
Eventually. But we didn't really talk much.
Problems in paradise?
No. Just a quiet night. You know, one in which you just sit in stillness with someone.
Good for you.
Late night?
Wild night.
Discussing folk core with a co-ed?
All night long.
Yeah.
Want a little vicarious excitement, Mark? Since you're off the market and all.
Sure. I don't have any student schedule.
Right. You and your rules of conduct.
Jack.
Just kidding. Story time. I saw going to the Fox head, right? Surprised me because pretty girls don't usually hang there. It's an old man's bar with Ham's ads on the wall and a collection of broken clocks behind the bar. But maybe it's where smart girls go to pick up men.
So she's smart.
Has a whip.
And she liked you.
So cold, man.
Hard to resist. So she liked you.
She liked me a lot. I didn't have to buy her a drink. She was matching me the whole night. Shot for shot. And then she said, "You want to follow me home?" That was the surprise. I was enjoying the banter, but I thought I'd have to play the game of walk here to a dorm and wheedling my way upstairs.
Did you follow?
I followed. She was a little unsteady though. Tequila will do that. In fact, I was a little unsteady. You ever get like that? Out of control?
Not in a long time.
Huh. Well, even before we went to her room, she was a new belt buckle, right? I laughed and pushed the door shut and then she...
Hey guys! Did I scare you?
I wasn't expecting you.
I brought coffee.
Oh, thanks.
I brought you one too.
Jack needs it. You had a late night.
Oh really?
The usual craze, promiscuity.
Come on, Mark.
Fuck you, man.
I'm sorry, Jack. I shouldn't get on your case. Someday you'll be ready for a real relationship.
You done? So aren't you going to ask me how she was?
Lady present.
Don't you want to know, Mark?
I don't.
Alright. Student-teacher boundaries. You don't want to hear the details.
She was an undergrad.
I said she was a co-ed.
Aren't you a little old for that, Jack?
One of your students, actually.
Not mine.
The girl from your office hours. The black hair. The body.
Jack.
What?
Like I said, she's not one of my students.
Fuck.
The girl who wrote about your
The girl with the paper. Yes.
That paper made me curious. There was something about knowing that about her. Picturing her as a high school kid, innocent and pleading.
How did you know about the paper?
I told him about it yesterday.
Why were you confiding in him?
Because she didn't think you were man enough to handle the situation, Mark. She said she was sick of your inability to deal. Wasn't that what you said?
That is not what I meant.
Someone needed to deal with her.
And you did?
She's a physics major, you know that? A body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest...
No, she's not.
What?
A physics major. She's majoring in business.
She... Huh. Maybe she's taking a class, I don't know.
You were drunk, that's what she said. So maybe you took home some other unlucky undergrad.
Want me to walk you to a dorm room? We can all have breakfast together.
That's not necessary.
See? And reason. Why don't you?
So you forced yourself on this poor girl.
Hey, I even asked. And I never asked. You know that.
Is that what this is about, Jack?
She told me to hold her down.
Now listen to this.
Even I positive that. Seemed too close to home. Even for me. But then she said, I need it. I want it. And what Jill wants, Jill gets.
You don't even know her fucking name.
I know her name. She told me her name. It's Jill.
That's not her name.
I know her name, Mark. It's Jill. That's the name I was shouting last night in her bed. Jill! Jill! Jill!
Susan! Her name is Susan!
Well, I'll be goddamn.
You need help, Jack.
No? You need help! What's your thing with him? He's some guy you slept with. I know I'm supposed to be mature about it, but I can barely look at you. We're in the same room.
Mark,
And now you're talking to him about me? About my students? You put this vulnerable girl in his path. What's wrong with you?
She's not a vulnerable girl, Mark. She's a liar.
Who?
A girl, Susan. She told me her name was Jill Kaplan. She told me she was a physics major.
So she played you. Who the fuck cares?
No, fella, she's playing you.
what does it matter?
Matters a lot. This girl, I love it. She gave Mark a paper, and when she didn't get the grade she wanted, she told him it was true.
What makes you think it isn't true?
She lied to me. For no reason. Some guy she fucked. What makes you think she's not lying to Mark?
Why would she?
To get his sympathy. To get a grade kick from a C to a B.
That is not what happened.
How do you know?
Because I know.
Who are you going to believe? You're going to believe Anne? Because I can do it from experience, that's the way to a broken heart.
Jack!
Congratulations, Mark. You're a better creative teacher than you thought. You should bump your girl Susan to an A. I would.
Can't believe it.
I can't either. How can
She
you?
lied to me.
What?
I'm so naive.
No.
No, really, you're right. You keep patting me on the head saying, oh, little man, someday you'll understand. Now I finally do. She manipulated me.
You don't know that.
I was thinking of giving her a better grade. Out of sympathy. How brave she is, writing about something so painful. And it was all a lie.
I'm telling you, you don't know that?
What then? I mean, what other explanation is there? For her lying? For becoming a stranger at a bar?
Because that's what you do when you're damaged, Ma. That's what you do. You don't know what it's like when somebody else has the control. You need to get something back. That's what you do. That's what I do. God, you are like, everything's in black and white with you. You're judging her just like you judged me for what happened with Jack. You think that there's only one answer? That because she's one thing, she might not be another? She can be bored. She can be lying to Jack because of what happened to her. Have you ever thought of that?
How can I know for sure?
That's the thing, Mark. You can't.
Office hours are over.
I thought I wanted.
I'm not changing your grade.
You already said that.
Well, I'm not.
I don't understand why you.
Because it's not good writing. That's what I grade on and that's what I teach.
What is good writing? I don't even know what that means.
I'm trying to get you to write the truth.
I wrote the truth. You gave me a C.
You have to write it better.
I don't have better words to describe it. If I had a better word than empty, maybe I'd feel differently. But I don't. Last night, I met this guy. I went to a bar where no one knew me. It was fun to be someone else. Told him a different name, a different life. See, I can be creative. But when I got back to my room, I was still the same person. It was still with me. It's who I am now. Ever since I wrote about it, it's all I am. There's nothing else in me. When I wrote about it, I never wrote like that before. In one motion. From the top of the page to the bottom. Full. So what does it mean? What do words mean if it doesn't tell you what happened? I described it. And you know what it is. Isn't that good writing?
See what you wrote. It didn't show me this right now. what you feel, so that I understood. That's what good writing does. It's written so that I feel what you felt, so that I know the truth of what happened. Can't give you a better grade on this paper, unless you rewrote it.
No, I don't want to rewrite it.
No, I don't think you should.
I didn't come here to ask you to change my grade.
Why did you come?
I don't get the next assignment.
Sorry, I wanted to talk to you.
Just give us a second. What about the next assignment?
Never mind. I can come back later.
Are you sure? I mean, I don't think Anne would mind waiting for a while.
No, thank you. I'll try to figure it out online.
What did she want?
I guess you were right.
Right about what?
About this girl, Susan. This incident must have actually happened to her. Just before you came in, she sort of broke down in front of you.
Really? She's been fine for me.
I don't know. I'm still too harsh on her. I certainly didn't expect her to break down in front of me like that. All I could do was just sit there, bemused. Whatever happened to her must have affected her deeply. I saw a side of her today I never thought existed.
Jack would have said it's mighty fine acting on her part if she could finally convince you.
I must have dragged Jack into this.
I am not dragging Jack into anything. I just mentioned his name. In fact, why are you so touchy about Jack nowadays? You were fine with him before.
Fine with him? What made you think I was ever fine with him? You slept with that man! How can you expect us to have this big fucking elephant in the room and I'd be okay with that? I put up with that man. He's a colleague who shares my room, and so I put up with him. What I don't understand is, why on earth are you still friends with him?
You'll never understand. You and Jack felt very good. Even before you came into it. Back when things were violent. You wouldn't even recognize people I used to hang out with. Parties. But Jack knew. Jack was always there. I never told you about his car, did I? I did it in softball.
Malli, lightly.
He was motorized. He made me do things. Things that were too much for me. Shit, I never stop seeing. Seeing delusions of love I had, I guess. After it was over, after he raped me, Jack was there every day. He stuck it out with me. He helped me through my difficult times. Yes, he might have done so because he was in love with me. But can you really blame me for not objecting? I needed him then. And in some ways, I still need him now. There are some things you just can't understand.
Is that what you meant? And my inability to deal?
No. It's the way you deal with situations, Ma. You get your first A-trade paper and you think it's your moral obligation to report it. You think you're helping this girl out, making some sort of a difference. Sometimes I think you live in your own utopian world. When are you going to realize that this is the real world?
Oh, so Jack's way of dealing with things is more efficient, is it? He took one look at that paper and he felt that sleeping with her was the right thing to do. Who thinks like that? What sort of a depraved soul would go seeking this girl out? Did you even listen to him speak about her before?
I'm not saying that everything Jack does is right. But you need to stop getting on his back every chance you get.
Stop defending him.
I'm sorry if it hurts you, Ma. There are some things you need to realize. Nothing is ever perfect. Not everything in life is right or wrong. There are some things that, as you would say, are off the grid. And yet they have a purpose. You must try and understand this.
I need some time alone.
Are you so sick? I think this is your assignment. Susan? Yes. Why did you write assignment in the third person?